So, one post war change in Pyrrhia that we're seeing right now that I think is really cool is the new acceptance of hybrids. And, like, don't get me wrong, we're really not fully there yet. But when we start the book series, being like a hybrid between tribes is so unheard of that it doesn't even occur to people. Like, they don't even think about it. They meet a couple hybrids, or they meet a hybrid at some point, and they're like, oh, like, between two tribes? What? And it's like this whole crazy thing. And by the time we get to the third arc, I feel like it's just a little bit more accepted, certainly in Pyrrhia, maybe not in Pantala. But it's just more of a common thing. It's more accepted. And certainly I think this has something to do with the fact that they were fighting a 20-year war where the tribes weren't really, mixing a lot and, crossing over lines very often because they were all trying to kill each other. So I do think that has something to do with it. But I just think it's kind of neat because we're in this new era in the Wings of Fire world of, the tribes, they're in this post-war, they don't want to fight anymore, they all want to get along, they're all kind of trying their best to keep the peace. We're seeing just this explosion of cross-tribal relationships, not even romantic, just in general. Dragons are meeting and hanging out with dragons from other tribes. They're learning that, like, oh, maybe these other tribes aren't totally dumb. I mean, in book 7, Winter's like, he's like, I bet if I wasn't an Icewing, I would think my tribe was still the best. He has this moment where he's like, I bet if I were a Sandwing, I would think my tribe is the best. Or if I were a Nightwing, I would think my tribe is the best. And he has this whole moment where he's like, maybe we all just like our group of people. Like, it's really funny. But we're in this neat spot where dragons are finally kind of being like, maybe one tribe isn't better than all the others. Like, other tribes have interesting things to offer socially and culturally and economically and all this different stuff. And it's really cool. And I think part of that shift in mindset is that hybrids are going to, A, grow more common, and B, be more accepted because they're not going to be some stigma of like, oh, this dragon like mixed with this other tribe that's like really weird and we don't like them at all. Like, I don't think it's going to be like that anymore. I think it's going to be this different age where I don't know what's going to happen with the tribes. I don't think they're going to cross that much that you're going to like kind of lose the distinctions between tribes. But I definitely think, especially in some of those border cities that are popping up like between the Sandwings and the Skywings and just other places like the Mudwings and the Rainwings, I think that's a place where we're going to see a lot of cross-tribal growth in the very near future. And I'm very interested to see what Tui does with that in the next arc that she's working on. Because from what I've heard so far, I think we're going to be back in Pyrrhia for a lot of that. And she has been really good about slowly growing Pyrrhia as a place. Like, like with the world building with that, she's been pretty good about growing that post-war and showing how all the tribes are trying to grow and forgive and be better so that this never happens again. So I think that's really cool. I just think it's great that hybrids are like gaining some more acceptance. They're growing more common. Obviously, the fandom loves hybrids. That's all we make. So it's kind of neat to see the book series catching up with that, which is great. So y'all let me know what you think. Do you think hybrids are going to be more accepted in the near future, or do you think it's going to still take a couple decades yet for that to kind of be a more mainstream thing? So let me know what you think. And y'all have a great day.